Hey y'all, and welcome to the video, and thank you guys so much for watching. Today I'm going to be doing 6 looks, 1 palette with the brand new Charlotte Tilbury Holiday 2021 palette. This is the Instant Eye palette. Smoky eyes are forever. You're supposed to be able to create 4 hypnotic eye glow looks, but I did not create very good looks. I know it kind of looks okay when you're seeing it on camera, but it's actually not. It was kind of a hot mess, a very hard time for me. I was having really bad flashbacks from the KVD Planet Fanatic palette. You guys remember that review? That one was a hot mess, and I was having major flashbacks. So I'm gonna edit this video a little bit different than my normal editing style. I'm going to actually talk to you guys about the palette and the problems that I had with it and the shades and all of that while I am playing my 6 looks up in the corner, just so you can see. But because this video would be really long with me talking about everything I did not like about the palette and then showing you the eye look, so I'm gonna have it playing. If you have the screen in full screen, you'll be able to see it really good. I might even like move myself to half. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it, but I just don't want the video to be very long because I could go on and on about how much I do not like this palette. I had such high hopes for it. I paid $75 for it, and I've always heard in the past that her holiday palettes are like the best quality, but using these palettes, it was kind of like her quads and stuff like that. I just don't really care too much about the eyeshadows. I mean, it could just be me, but I just don't like the eyeshadows. I don't think they perform very well. Even just packing them on like on top of each other, it still comes out very patchy, and it wasn't a very fun time. And then so here's the palette. It's black packaging. I really was like, oh, this is cute. And then here are the shades inside, and you're supposed to be able to create separate looks. So we have love eyes, power eyes, happy eyes, and confident eyes. And you have steps 1, 2, and 3 here on this little card. Step 1 is to prime, 2 is to enhance, 3 is to smoke. So they want you to, with these shades, prime, enhance, and smoke, which you don't have to follow that, but I wanted to follow that in this video because I mean that's kind of like what they want you to do. And then I did some looks on my own, mix and matching the colors, and even mixing and matching the colors, everything was still very patchy, did not layer well together. They did not want to just play it all well together. Even like the lightest shades in here, which is in the power eyes and the love eyes, these two, the 2 lightest ones, didn't even mesh that well together, and I was having major flashbacks seriously from the KVD palette. If you guys watched that review and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, it was a hot mess. This is a hot mess. You place a shadow and you start to blend, and then it just starts getting away from you and going in a completely opposite direction of where you're even working, and I do not like that. I haven't had that problem with the palette since the KVD palette, and I have reviewed a lot of palettes. I've played with a lot of palettes. I wouldn't say I'm like a professional in any way when it comes to eyeshadow, but I have done this long enough to know what's good quality, what's not good quality, and what is just too hard to work with. And I mean, I could probably switch up the primer I'm using, or I can switch up my technique a little bit more, or stuff like that, but I'm doing the same thing that I have done for the last, I don't know, 2 years, 2.5 years. I'm doing the exact same routine and whatnot. I'm using the same primer I've been using for well over a year now, like 1.5 years, and I kind of just know what I'm doing, and I feel like I have to explain myself. So like when I have a palette that doesn't really work well for me, I feel like I have to like really explain myself and why I don't like it, because it's so rare that I have a palette that I am just not into. It just doesn't work for me, and I don't think it's worth the money and the quality. It's a lot. And this is the palette. This is just this is the palette. It's not that good, and I feel like for $75 it's definitely a waste of money. I was hoping for more. Now there's a few shades in here that I do think are really good. This shade here, this matte shade, which you can't even see it, even on my eyes you can't see it. This pink shade's really good. It's like a regular shimmer. Same thing with this one, a regular shimmer. And the other ones, oh wait, no, this one's a regular shimmer too, but these other ones are very much loose. So let's take this green one for example, or maybe it's not that one, yeah. Let's take the green one for example. It's very like you put your finger in there and it just comes up, and it's very flaky, like crumbly, loose crumbles, and then you do this and you can feel the glitter in the actual shade. Now this could be one of those things where maybe I got one that wasn't mixed correctly or something like that. Like you could have a completely different experience than me, but that's just my only issue with these, is that they have a lot of fallout, and like they're just very, like I'm barely tapping my finger in there and it just rakes out, and you can literally feel the little glitter grains rubbing up against your skin, and it falls out, and it's just, it's not cute. I mean, and I used like a primer to pack it down and stuff, and it just didn't work. And then even this shade here, and then the other mattes all the way up, other than the one that you can't even see on my skin tone really, they just didn't work well, and they didn't blend well, and they just kind of it just didn't work. Now the final result, the eye looks don't look like horrible when I have like my eyes up like this, because I have hooded eyes. So when I'm like this, you're like, oh, it looks really, really good. But when you kind of do this, and you can see like the patchiness, and where I like, you guys are only seeing an edited down version of this. Let me tell you, I blended and blended and blended. I am not looking forward to editing this video, because I'm gonna have so much footage that I'm gonna have to edit down, that I think this is probably going to be the longest video I've ever filmed when it comes to an eye look, because I was blending for days. I actually kind of rubbed my actual lids raw. I feel like I blended for so long, and I haven't done that in a long time. I can't even remember the last, it was like, oh, well over a year and a half ago that I've had a palette where I was just blending and blending and blending and blending, that it was starting to hurt my eyes. So this look here isn't even with this palette. I went in with my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde and did a cute little look. I actually filmed this whole look that I did, but I'm just very much disappointed in this palette in general. And I have noticed that when I have a palette review and I review it really, really good, other people also say it's good. And when I have a palette review that I'm like, oh my god, this is so horrible, and I have these critiques about it, usually other people will say the exact same thing. So I can't wait to see reviews on this, to see if what I say is what other people say, because usually it's always like what I say other people say, and that's how I judge, like, oh, okay, I'm pretty good at what I do then I am, like, you know, I'm pretty spot on with what I'm trying to say. But you guys, I would say 110% skip this palette. Don't even worry about it. These shades in here and the eye looks I created, I've literally been able to create with Too Faced palettes and other palettes, you know. And I'm just saying that because I literally just reviewed this Cinnamon Swirl palette, and I can create the exact same looks just with this palette minus like the green in here. Like, yeah, yeah. If you watch this review and compare it to the looks that I do with this, the like the darker combination and that second combination, all of them but the green look came out of this, the exact same everything, and this took me 2.5 seconds to do a look, you know what I mean? So I just don't like these. It just wasn't good, and I just want you guys to know that don't waste your money on a palette that, me being a non-professional, not very good at what I do, if I can't use it, then the average person will probably also have trouble with it. If you're like an excellent makeup artist, maybe you know how to work it, but I had problems, okay? It was just not cute, as you guys can see. But yeah, I just wanted to give you that. I know this isn't like the most normal review on a palette, but I just had a lot to say about it. It just was not good. Are you guys interested in purchasing this palette? Have you seen any reviews on it yet? I know it just launched. I haven't seen a review on it yet, and yeah, I cannot wait to see what other people are saying about this, because I just did not have a good time with this palette. It was just not good and not worth the money when I can get the same looks for cheaper, and it'll take me 2 seconds and it will blend on its own. This one was a lot of work, and I even tried doing, you know, my own 2 eye looks, and I even tried to like mess around and do something like really crazy, and then I wound up messing it up and tried to fix it, but then you couldn't even fix it. It just was bad. I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. But yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I apologize, but the palette's just not good. It's not good. Yeah. I don't know what to say, but thank you guys so much for being here and watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.